Greetings, everyone. This is Payman Lorenzo, your friend, your coach. Today, we're kicking off the bonus Q&A call for week 3 of the Profitable Podcast Academy, class of February 2026 for the US and Canada. So, bring on the questions, guys, from week 3. Before you guys start, I just want to give you guys big kudos because you guys actually been the class that made me work the most. And I'm actually complaining about that because, you know, too much work for me. Especially this lady that's on the left, Joy. Oh my God. And this guy right there, Hector, who's been spamming me with his
Hi.
videos nonstop, you know? Just joking. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. But listen, what I said, first of all, you guys are doing amazing. The videos you're sharing, don't just share it on the WhatsApp group, share it on your Facebook group. That's the whole point. So that not only you, but also your audience can see the growth, the journey, the progress. And that's what is going to be speaking to them. And one day, one beautiful day, the people, especially now sitting on the benches, on the fences, will timidly, hey Carrie, hey Virginia, Hector, hey Joy, what you're doing is amazing. Can we talk? Can you help me? They will reach out to you in their right time. So do it. Uh, Especially you're doing this for them. You're doing this for your future clients that you may not be aware of, but they are definitely watching you like ox. There's people right now watching all of us to say, wow. Two types of people. One, the people say, I told you so. You were not going to make it with this thing you are. And those that say, yes, I'm so happy you made it. And we are doing this for these people. And even the people say, I told you so. Not to prove them wrong, but maybe you can make them change their mind. Say, wow, I was wrong. Maybe I should follow. You can inspire them as well. Instead of being negative and cheering for someone to fail, let them get them to change, to cheer. Not for you to win, but for them to think, hey, wow, if he or she was able to do it, why not me? And that's a powerful question. So do it for these people, guys. All right, enough sermon thing. Let's get going. Bring on your questions.
I guess the question I have first in regards to what you just said there is the 30-day visibility challenge that you talked about, that we're going to be doing. And I know I've taken that on. I started it today. I started it here because I needed to start it here because I needed to, your big thing was about trust. You got to really trust the people that you're talking to and so forth. And I trust you guys. I know you guys have my back and so forth, and you guys are really supporting me. So I got to trust that. And I know there's also, just putting it out there, and trusting myself from what I've learned here from this class. So, I'm going to be doing it on my Facebook challenge, my Facebook pages as well, starting this week. I am going to be going on a 3-day retreat doing it Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, so I won't be available this week. But I'll make up that time, to make sure that it'll make a complete 30-day
Yeah,
completion of the challenge. So I'm really excited about that. And I want to thank you for that, Lorenzo. I want to thank you for your friendship. This has not just been a business transaction, but it really
absolutely.
has been an awesome relationship. And Carrie and Joy, the fact that you guys stuck with it, the fact that you guys, got my back and I support you guys. It really has been a Breakfast Club moment, as I teased about. It's getting to know people that I did not know this well and getting to know them better and trusting the process to say, hey, we're on to something here. Let's take it to the end.
Absolutely.
So
Love that.
thank
Love
you
that.
for the
Well, thank you. As the saying says, it takes two to tango. Give
mm,
yourselves credit as well, because just like the saying, you can take the horse to the water, but you cannot drink for the horse. You guys have been doing the drinking. I've been showing you the path. You guys have actually done the work. So unless if you guys didn't do the work, it would have been completely different. So that's what I meant. You guys are doing amazing, and I can't wait to see you guys launching your business, your offer through the podcast. I can't wait. And yes, it's all about, even if you're going to be busy with whatever you're going to be busy, just take 3 minutes of your day. Take your phone, 3 minutes, in the most imperfect way. The more imperfect you are, the more you will be humane, the more you relatable. The more perfect you are, the less people relate with you. Keep that in mind always. Don't wait. And just bring your messages. Just get out of your comfort zone. You know the saying, your dream life starts the moment you step outside of the comfort zone. You know? Watch the videos I've sent you, especially the bonus ones. Remember the one of my favorite videos when people ask you, so what do you do? Use you. Oh, you know how. Make it conversational, not just you just, you know, repeating a canned line, because that's what most people do. Instead, keep them engaged. Oh, you know how coaches, authors, speakers, they're doing amazing, but still somehow they're not, nobody knows about them. Uh-huh. Yes, 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 I know that. Well, I help them get the visibility they need, put them in front of the right rooms, the right people. Oh, what do you mean? How is that possible? And then you go on and use that. Just plug in your information. Just go take that script. That's one of the most powerful scripts. Not only to convey what you're doing, but do it in a way that you really capture their attention, as opposed to them to just waiting for their turn to speak or just waiting for you to finish. Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense.
Good.
Yeah.
Do that. And also remember the video I shared with you with by Jim Rohn. Focus on the impact, you know, not the title of what you do, your business. Because remember the question he asks: what value you're bringing? How are you making the world a better place? How are you changing lives? All the things I've been sharing with you guys since the beginning. And you said that as well, Hector, when you shared your kind words to me. This is definitely not a transactional, thing. It's what I mean.
Mhm.
This is what I'm preaching. It has to be transformational. It's
Right.
not transactional, it's not informational, it's transformational. This is key. Make sure no, sorry, not make sure. You must make your business, your offer transformational if you want to succeed and keep succeeding and keep growing and scaling it. Maybe in the
Right.
first class, you will be charging only $1,000 or $500. That's fine. But that's a journey, a starting point. And then eventually, within a year or two, you're going to be at $5,000 per client.
Mhm.
Same process I've been gone through, you know? Everybody goes through that.
Right.
I give you exactly the blueprint, the step by step, A to Z, A to Z. You just need to implement it. Trust the process and just follow it. And also, there's a powerful video that I'll share with you guys that says why people that are dumber than you are succeeding faster than you because they don't overthink, they just take action. The smarter you are, the more you will try to think through things, talk yourself out of the way and instead of trying to question. No. One question I learned from my coaches, I was just trying to resist and all of this. And mind you, this is a high seven-figure guy. And I'm incredibly gracious that he's been very patient with me. And he told me, listen, I have one question for you. Yes. Do you want to be right or do you want to win?
Mhm.
And that can be used to everything with your kids, your spouse, your friends, anything. And that's going to end in 99% of all arguments, so to speak. Do you want to be right or do you want to win? If you want to be right, be my guest. But if you want to win, just listen to me. Trust the
Mm.
process, trust the universe. Do that. Because if you haven't been able to succeed so far, then you need to look at doing things a different way, a new approach. So, anyways, I know you guys already know all of that. You guys are all smart cookies. So, yeah. Any other questions? Bring your questions.
I'm gonna let Joy or Carrie go ahead and maybe because I can ask questions all day long. So Joy, Carrie, go ahead if you guys have anything.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I was about to tell everybody except Hector. I'm just joking.
No, I just wanted to say that watching Hector experience his transformational metamorphosis type thing going on, his smile ear to ear. He's like not I mean, Hector, I knew you before this class and you seemed to be tired and a little haggard and worn out and just frazzled and pulled thin and now you're like let's put the brakes on some things. You've fallen in love. You're you're experiencing a lot more than um you know your comic. The comic is awesome. The comic idea, reaching out to kids, not just you know disabled children and not just disabled adults. And also it connects to the child in a disabled adult, saying, hey, that's me too, and I enjoy just being able to um connect, hear your progress, and connect with what you're going through. And um I grew up in the church. I know what you're talking about when you say, you know what you've said. And I believe in spiritualism. I believe in spirit. I think that's a subject that needs to be brought back into the church and not separated from it, because I believe that's where, you know, that's where we all come from. Our life is breath.
Mhm.
And Numa, we're not just psyche, we're soma, which is body, we're pneuma, which is spirit, we're the breath, we're psyche, which is soul. We're so complex that and I believe what the Bible says, we were made in the image of God. I believe if there was any lie in the beginning, it was that we weren't like God to begin with, because he said, let's make man out of, his image after our likeness. I don't want to get preachy here, but I'm just saying we have the ability that God has, and we just need to tap into it and use it. And a lot of us are afraid to do so because of limitations that, no, you can't do that, you're not supposed to do that, that doesn't exist. Well, why did I just do that,
Mhm.
if it
Right.
doesn't exist? And so if you take aside the rule system and um live your life, I mean, I'm just starting now that I have, I found that I have diastolic heart failure. I'm starting to look at what I believe. Does it really matter what I believe, or is my life just destined to expire in 2 or 3 years, around the time that my dad died? Because he died when he was 51. I'm 49, and I have the same type of diagnosis that he died from. So it's like, my doctor said, yes, that will kill you. That's what I'm gonna die from, most likely, if my wound doesn't take me first, or something. If I don't get hit by a car or something, if I don't run off the road again somehow. Um, I I have so many, like, I've gone through so many life and death circumstances. I've gone through so much that I just um know, Joy, that what you're tapping into uh could help a lot of people. And um just help a lot of people heal from um maybe a misinterpretation, I would say, of a rule system that is supposed to be. It says, the Bible says, in Christ there is freedom. So why are we living in bondage
Mm.
Yeah.
in a rule system that's supposed to be supporting us and freeing us from, the truth shall set you free, all this stuff. And so just keep it up. Keep it up, Joy. And
Thank you. Yeah.
yeah, I admire you taking on the task of helping. You're focusing on women, you're focusing on people who have been hurt, you're focusing on people who have that's somewhat been hurt in the church, and how to still tap into the spirituality within them and the gifts that they've been given, and without having to fill out a bubble, you know a bubble
Yeah.
form of or a disc, and I appreciate that. So I got so behind because um I've had, good and bad events happen. I had a friend close to me here go to the hospital and come back, and she's not doing so good, and I'm sensing that she might have another hospital visit, and I'm just wondering if she's going to be around very long. So, um but I don't want to go into her information too much, but that's part, and my roommate might be leaving soon, and I was planning on leaving soon, and I don't know how soon that's going to be because I probably would have left before any of them, but the situation didn't work out that I had lined up. So, um, but one good thing you can all celebrate with me on is that I found out I got my student loans discharged.
Oh, great.
Mm,
So I owe
mm.
zero on them.
Beautiful.
That's
So I just
great.
have my medical debt to worry about and some other debt to worry about, but I'm almost debt free. So
Well, that's a
Yeah.
yeah,
sign that blessings are coming your way, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
blessings.
don't give up. You're
Yes.
so close to a miracle. Don't
Yeah,
give up.
I get
You are
that
a
from.
miracle.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I understand that, and I'm going back into physical therapy or occupational therapy. So when I leave here, I'll be able to function as independently as I can. I might need help at home,
Yeah.
but we're just gonna act as if, Carrie's going for her independence totally, and that's gonna it's gonna hurt in some respects because I'm like, I need my socks on, But yeah, just
Hey, the
keep
fact,
your
Carrie, the fact, Carrie, the fact that you've done all this work, and you
yeah.
showed up on these days while you're still in rehab shows me your strength, and I hope you can see that strength too. You know?
Thank you, Hector.
More
So,
than strength
no,
is
really,
resilience.
and
Resilience. Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Resilience. That's one thing I marvel at is the resilience of um the human condition. We all that's one thing and that I can get religious on again. I'm sorry, the only religion I really know is Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of know other religions, just touch and feel here and there, but so I'm gonna say another reference to Christianity. It says that in this world we're guaranteed basically suffering. He
Mhm.
says, but do not fear, for I have overcome the world. And I don't know what that means. I'm like, why guarantee us suffering? I didn't order suffering in this lifetime. I don't know if you did. I remember exactly when I met somebody and I wanted rest because there was a call, rest for the weary, and I'm like, okay, that sounds like me. But oh, I'm getting the rest, but do I have to do it in a wheelchair?
Mhm.
And is this my fault or is this just a fluke that happened? And um, maybe I'm touching and being touched by people I want to have, met without this seemingly what seems like a detour in my life, maybe a plan that I'm passing through, and
Mhm.
who knows?
I
So,
think you're discovering how resilient you are
yeah,
Yes.
and how
I wake
loved
up.
you are,
I
actually. Because I believe
thank
in
you.
God is love. God is love.
Yeah,
So I
God is
that just
love.
covers all the religions to
God
me.
is love. I don't believe he's
Yeah.
this ogre. I know
Yeah.
there's a verse that says he forms the light, he creates the darkness. He makes the good, he creates the evil. He does it all, but I don't think he necessarily does it because he hates us and is this giant puppet master up there saying,
Yeah.
"Mwah."
Definitely not.
He
Definitely not.
it says
Yeah.
God is love, and I'm like, okay, I'm not. feeling the connection all the time, but I just need to
Yeah,
remind myself that His grace is sufficient for me. God is love, like you said, and keep going, get out of that bed.
that's
And
God's true nature. God's true
yeah,
nature is love.
yeah. And
You know,
I'm glad we can talk about that all over, I don't know, your background, like where how you got on this
Mhm.
call. Hector is the one who got me on this,
yeah.
hooked up, and we had this connection. We have this spark that,
We're meant to be,
for
yeah.
some reason, I don't necessarily believe in coincidences. I
Hmm.
believe in Gibbs rules. I don't know if you follow NCIS, but Gibbs rules say there are no coincidences. And so we're meant to be here for a
Yeah.
reason. And thank you, Lorenzo, for being that catalyst to help
Yeah.
us um,
You're welcome.
get together and see within ourselves what our potential could be,
Some
and
potential is gifts.
Hmm.
our gifts are, yeah, and just yeah. So when I do start talking, sometimes I have trouble shutting up. So if you need to say
That's good. That's
no,
your
but
passion
thank
speaking.
you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it is.
One thing I
Yeah.
want to add to that is that first of all, thank you for sharing this, for being so vulnerable and being opening your heart. Thank you, really deeply appreciate that. One other thing that helped me not lose my mind and completely do the unthinkable and checking out of life when I was at my lowest 6 years ago. And again, nothing happened. There's no coincidence. Everything happens for a reason at the right time. And that was part of me going to my awakening. Was first stumbling upon a video by a guy. Uh, First, I will tell you the name of the video, and it's actually a book called "The Life Your Soul Planned Before You Were Born." I
Hmm.
think I might have shared
Uh-huh.
that before with you guys, by Robert Schwartz. The book is absolutely captivating, the kind that you can't put down. And
Hmm.
I recommend. I will share with you guys, if you're on YouTube, there's plenty of interviews of him, but one specifically I will share with you guys is that, and that's really what opened my eyes. In high school, before we graduate, we meet our course counselor, say, "Hey, Joy, hey, Virginia, Carrie, Hector, Payment, what do you want to do? What do you want to become?" Based on what you tell them, I want to become a journalist, a lawyer, or whatever. Okay, go to this school in this city. They will guide. That's what they do. And same thing. Robert Schwartz said, before our soul reincarnates, before each lifetime, we meet with our soul counselors, and they ask their soul. So, what major life lessons do you want to do you want to master? And apparently there are about 30 to 32 major life lessons, such as forgiveness, resilience, self-love, acceptance, and so on and so forth. There's a big list. And and in each lifetime we can only master one, or if you're a very advanced soul, two. So the people who have the most difficult lives are the ones that are the most advanced souls. So
Hmm.
don't I will give you one example, and that's Hector and Carrie. You can relate with that. Now how you have all these facilities, ramps for handicapped people. These are
Uh-huh.
forever. They started in the mid '80s. Apparently, there was not apparently there is a lady that Robert Schwartz talks about as his first case study. Is that, imagine this: a beautiful young 23-year-old woman with amazing future ahead of her. She was working at a company, and just entry level job. She was about to get engaged, live the perfect life. And one Friday after at 4 o'clock, she just before her husband or fiance come and picking her up, she goes to the mail room to pick up a package for her boss. And as
Right.
soon as she gets into the mail room, the package is actually a bomb, explodes. It completely disfigures her. Life shattered, life ended, her face unrecognizable. She went from a beauty to unrecognizable. So, beyond that, she spent years in agonizing pain in hospital. She was cursing herself for life. Why? I had my life ahead of me, all that. Why has happened to me? And to all of the pain and all that, she slowly started to go to her awakening. And then she started to understand that this didn't happen to her, but for her, because first she had to heal herself, learn how to, just like you, Hector, you went through, do the basic things, getting out of bed. She wasn't even on a wheelchair. She couldn't even get out of bed. So forget a wheelchair. She spent months, if not years, in the hospital, agonizing pain, completely dependent on people. First, she had to heal herself mentally and then learn to do things, the basic things like you mentioned, finding your socks, putting on your socks and all that. She had to learn all of that again. She had to live again. And then first she had to heal herself. And once she healed herself, then she said, wow, how she then saw that for what she asked. How can I help other people going through that? And then, long story short, all the ramps, all the facilities you see, all the bathrooms that you see for handicapped people, she's the one behind it. She's the one behind it. So again, and later in life, as she basically that triggered her to find a true purpose in this lifetime. And then after that, she not only incredibly forgave the man that destroyed the first part of her life, and then she even tracked him back to personally thank him, give him a hug. Imagine that. The man that was literally because of an accident. And then she understood because she did some past life regression, especially there's a not only past life regression, but also the most fascinating one, and that's what Robert Schwartz specializes in, and that is doing what they call a regression to the moment just before, as your soul is planning the next life. That's something that you may understand, Joy, because that's what you do.
Yeah.
You know, and she got herself to that moment, and the man that put the bomb in her, they had planned that together because their life is literally a play.
Yeah.
First, when you meet your soul counselor, you agree on, you decide on what major life lesson do you want to master in this lifetime, and then you say, "Hey guys," to your soul family, who wants to play with me and help me achieve that mission, so to speak. And then souls raise their hand. I want to be your mother, your father, your son, your all the cast in your life, your best friend, your wife, your husband, or even more importantly, your mortal enemy, the person is going to trigger that for you. For example, let's say you get an accident that caused you to become, paraplegic. The person that caused the accident, even though you hate their guts in a physical world, but in a soul level, you both agreed. This was the mission, so to speak. So when I read that, I was completely blown away. And that book, along with another book, which is called by, what's his name? Dr. something. Anyways, the book is called Journey of Souls. Michael Newton, Dr. Michael Newton. These two books have been the two most influential books, I would say, the last 5-6 years for me. And I would rank them top 5 of all time for me personally. The life your soul planned before you were born, Robert Schwartz and Dr. Robert Newton, Journey of Souls. They're big books, but fascinating books. And you also have the audio versions on YouTube for free. I can, later after this call, I can find them and send them to you. But especially, listen to those, especially you, Carrie. You haven't come so far, this far to give up. I was having the exact same conversation with a friend of mine here. He's had an incredibly painful life. I'm not going to go through it. But it was just about, he said, I'm sick and tired of this. Why I'm still here. No matter what I do, nothing works out. As soon as I get a little break, it's taken away from me. I said, why? I don't want to play this. And we walked on the beach for an hour and a half, just trying to tell him, listen, giving up is not an option. You just need to be patient. We sometimes tend to be impatient because things don't happen fast enough. But the universe knows the best time. Universe is not, God is not impatient. They know exactly when everything falls into place. So the point is, giving up is not an option. Pain is basically, pain is growth. Just like the cheesy line, no pain, no gain, you see in gyms, same thing here. So again, Carrie, you're incredible. I admire you beyond words. You're an incredible, resilient survivor, and you have been blessed with incredible gifts. And now it's your time to really embrace your gifts and then share them loud and proud with your world. You're only starting, and if you put it into sporting terms, you're just about to start the second half of your life. The first half is finished. Now you're about to start the second half. And second half is going to be big, long, beautiful, impactful, successful one. So giving up is not an option. You cannot give up. We are here anytime you need to talk. Just message us. We're here. I'm here. And I mean it sincerely. So
Thank you.
very welcome. So those two books, I'll share them. And anyways, enough. I need to shut up now. I'm just like you, Carrie. When I start speaking, good luck shutting me up. So anyways, do you guys have any
Let's get Joy.
questions? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I want to hear more from Joy because we're touching a topic here that that she deals with every day,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So I really want to hear more from her because everything that you just shared, both of you, Carrie and Lorenzo, reminds me of Viktor Frankl when he wrote his book Man's Search for Meaning. And here's a guy, who went through the Holocaust, and he found meaning in all that suffering. He found meaning and purpose, and it's just amazing to see when people go through so much suffering. And the story, Lorenzo, that you just shared, a woman's face being blown off. I mean, how worse, more, I mean, what do you do with that when you
Yeah.
when you can't find a way to fix it or whatever? What do you do with that? Because I don't know what to do with it, but the person going through it must must know or must find it or must
Mhm.
see, and it's just amazing when you watch that person go through it. Carrie, I've been watching you go through it. It doesn't mean that
Yeah.
you got on the other end, but I've seen you go through it and you don't give up. So that's what I love about the not giving up, the going through it, the struggling with it, the wrestling with it,
And
so I really do appreciate that.
Hector, sorry I don't mean to interrupt, but sorry. Um, Sometimes it's pushing through, like pushing. I'm pushing, and sometimes it's yielding and taking that step back and letting it take you somewhere, like the waves
Yes.
pulling you out into the ocean, and then you ride it in the surf. I don't know, I've never surfed, but I'm just imagining how, I watch them and they ride that, you know and so I one day I was homeless in Denver. I had been kicked out of just about every homeless shelter in Denver. I had no place to go, and the hospitals didn't want me anymore. Even though I was highly suicidal, they're like, "Well, we're not your hotel." I'm like, "I'm not looking for a hotel." So they sent me to an ER in the Springs, in Colorado Springs, and I'm like, "I don't know anything about the Springs," And so they're like, "Carrie, you're going to a homeless shelter." So I got sent to a homeless shelter, and then boom, this first night, this lady's like, "Are you my mom?" And I'm like, "Oh, what?" And I'm like, "You're about 10 years younger than me. I don't have that name. I think I've told you the story. She's looking for Rebecca Yost." I'm like, "I'm Carrie Ross." And then a few days later, I'm confronted with a birth certificate, and on it is Rebecca Yost. I'm like, I was Rebecca Yost in Miami-Dade when I was in my dreams. She's like, "Hi, Mom." And I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me." Like, what did I do? And,
Harry, that's the
and
story I hope that you put into what we've learned here with Lorenzo. Those are the stories that got my attention,
because
so
I need to find her somehow. At least I know her last name, but I need to track down my other peeps out there that are like, especially biological, that I don't know about because of my psyche and psyches, my different, you know, I just because of my psychological makeup and my multiple personalities, and um not
So you're
knowing.
saying the other name was a past life name of yours?
Well,
Or
when I was
quantum
10,
physics, like quantum physics?
quantum physics more like. In
Okay.
this reality, I was in
Hmm.
two places at the same time.
Yeah,
I was in my math class at 10 years old, but
right.
being an adult somewhere in Miami-Dade, Vice I'm like, get this. I'm in the middle of the um I went from one math class to another, so I did remember when I went to the Springs that I had lived in the Springs at some point in time in my life. But if you look at Carrie Ross, she's never left Denver as a child, you know? And actually, except for like trips to the Air Force Academy because I wanted to go in the military. But for some reason, I was I was Rebecca Yost with Miami-Dade Police Department, and you guys are in some of you are in Florida, so you know Miami-Dade. I'm not making this up. I just thought I was dreaming, and all of a sudden in my physical reality, I'm confronted by someone who hands me her physical birth certificate and says, "You're my mom," you know,
That is so
and
interesting. Yeah.
I'm like, I what happened was I was disarming. um there was like a shipment of cocaine basically, and it had a bomb attached to it, and I was trying to disarm it, and all of a sudden I'm back in my math class and I'm like, where's my bomb? And then I'm back in my math class in Denver, and I wake
Yeah.
up and I finish the test, but I'm like, what happened to this daydream of mine that I had, that that I in my recesses, when she said Rebecca Yost the first time, I'm like, no, that's not me. But then when she came back, I had been already playing, where did I hear this name before? Well, it
Yeah.
was me, you
Yeah.
know. So
I've had
it's
dreams of other lives that I'm living currently.
yeah. So it's like
Quantum
it's really
reality.
the
Yeah.
quantum metaverses, megaverses, stuff like
Hmm.
that. When I
Yeah.
blink, where am I? And if it's real, am I responsible for all of that? Like, I don't know this
Yeah.
lady's life,
Well,
and
see,
I feel
I don't really believe in a punishing. I
yeah,
don't really believe in it, like the whole
I'm
punishing God thing. I don't,
yeah,
that is created in my personal view to control
uh,
masses
right,
because, God is really love. So,
right,
we come here and we're experiencing certain types of lifetimes to like what Payman was saying
right.
to learn certain lessons. We're here for that. We signed up for it, right?
So in one reality, this is another tripping thing, and I don't know how much time we have before we have to go into the next call, Lorenzo, but if you'll just give me a few more minutes. In one reality, I I heard of an old pastor that I had in one of the churches that I grew up with, who could no longer be the pastor because his wife had passed away, and he was just so distraught that he stepped down. He couldn't preach. He it ruined. It didn't necessarily ruin his life, but he was so succumbed by grief that he wasn't able to lead the church anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And then one day I walk into the church to visit, thinking, well, maybe it's Wednesday. They're nearby this motel that I'm staying in now. Maybe I can walk to it and see if there's a church service. I want to go back to church and they're nearby. So I walk in, and first this lady says, well, this is news. You were the girl who was shot in the head when she was 6. I'm like, I thought it was 7, but yes, I was
Wow.
shot in the head when I was a child, and I kind of lived through it. That's another story that Joy would be very, all of you would be very
But is
interested
that in
in.
this lifetime or is it in the previous
That's in
part?
this lifetime. I
Wow.
actually remember going up a smokestack back down into a body that was, well, a gurney that had my mom laying on it, and she woke up holding me. I came back to reality, and I remember them putting all these wires on my head and putting me in this, you know, tube and doing all these tests, and it was a miracle that I was back. They didn't know what it's like, WTF, what happened. But I was shot in the back of my head, and I still have, I mean, the difference, there was the idea in the time of Jesus that souls could reincarnate. That was a belief in the Judaic system, that you could
Yeah,
come back
yeah.
as,
Hmm.
it's like, do you come back as a baby though? Or do you come back in the same body? And Jesus reintroduced the concept that you can come back in the same body each and every time you die. Wearing the battle scars, you know, I have some of the battle scars. I've seen, like, oh, I don't need that scar anymore, and it's gone.
Hmm.
But sometime I can go into a greater detail about that.
Mm.
But she's like, you're this person. I was told about you last night that you would be here, and I'm like, well, yes, I'm here. And so I I sat down, and I found out, going back to that church, that Betty Blair was alive and well, and it was her husband that had passed in this reality that I somehow walked into now, right? So I kept my mouth shut, that, like, Betty, don't you know you're dead? And then I'm thinking, am I the one who's dead also, or am I just, like, alive walking through all these realities of dead people that don't know they're dead? Because what is death? We go through, I hopped on was it Reddit or something like that, and someone's like, am I alive or dead? I don't know, because I have these dreams that I'm still, like, in the hospital, and people are screaming and crying and grieving, but I'm here. Where am I really? And I've
Hmm.
had people come up to me in hospitals and recognize me as somebody and say, okay, where am I? And I'm like something like pod 9 base 12 box 6 whatever, and that's where you really are physically waiting to see if you're going to be alive or dead, you know so I have that understanding that we're all dreaming this reality. This physical place is like a almost like a helpful prison, and
Yeah.
it its resources are ending soon because we haven't been making them. And um, with that knowledge, it's like, part of my reason for wanting to just travel around the United States is to see the world before it was gone, or at least what part of it I could get to. And now I'm stuck here. But I believe we can reverse things. I believe that we can um, keep going. There are, people have reminded me of verses in the Bible that say that this earth is not going away.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And some people say, oh no, it's going to be, you know, fiery furnace type thing, and it's going to be burnt. But there, it contradicts some of the verses that prophesy that this earth isn't going away. And some people, some words in the Bible are literally physical and some are spiritual. And so, how do you interpret the scripture without help, it's difficult.
Yeah.
So without the original people that communicated it a long time ago, it's also difficult. So,
Yeah.
but I have lived through so many death and near death experiences that I've gone back and forth between like DNR and nope, I think I'll take a few more stabs at this life,
Yeah.
and keep on going. So recently I revoked the DNR and I said, "Hey, I know that I'm suffering here, but I want to keep going at all costs. And I don't have anyone that I know of that, to leave things to necessarily, but I have a lot of people that I know care about me, and the people that care about me are why I revoked the DNR and just said, I'm not going to leave it.
Sorry,
You
what is a
know,
DNR?
do not resuscitate.
Do not resuscitate.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So like if I died, if I like if my heart stopped or if I stopped breathing, they would try to do CPR and stuff like that and resuscitate me and bring me back to life. And if I coded,
Carrie,
because I've
I love you,
coded before.
Carrie, I love you, and I want to definitely hear more about that, but I want to give Lorenzo back his show.
Yeah, let's give Lorenzo back his.
Yes. So thank you. Wow. What a story. What a life. So again, one more reason for you to keep going because you're definitely not done. You have so much more to do. So yeah. Do you guys have any questions about week 3?
I
Yeah,
just
yeah. Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Joy, please.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I feel like it's a work in progress. Does
Yeah.
that make sense? Like,
Yes.
it's not something that is gonna be done in a week, but it's just more like the step-by-step information on how to do it,
Yeah.
right? How to put it together, right? And that's
And
what I was getting out of week 3.
yeah. And
You
don't
know, just
overthink it. Just start doing it step by step and you'll get there.
yeah. So I
Yeah,
don't
even
think
though
I
it's
have any specific questions about that.
yeah, my whole thing was exactly that, that even though this is week 3 and it comes to an end, it really is just the beginning. I mean, it
Yes.
took the whole 3 weeks in order for us to get here. So
Yeah.
now we're to implement everything that we've learned in these 3 weeks. So I really do appreciate that. And that's where I wanted to go with you on my question, Lorenzo, is now that we are here in week 3, this is pretty much our graduation day and stuff like that. That I guess our first step is the 5-day challenge. Is that where we really are testing the waters along with getting ourselves comfortable in front of a camera for the next 30 days with a visibility challenge? Are we working those things hand by,
Yeah. The
and
the video thing, 1 a day video, that's an extra bonus I'm giving you guys. It's not part of the curriculum, but I'm adding it because I see that it will help you become more, because you need to be in front of a camera. That's a non-negotiable. And as you guys know, I was the undisputed, undefeated, not just world but universal champion when it comes to being the shyest person ever. So and I had to go over that myself. So, and one way to do it was just to keep doing videos. So this is one thing I want you guys to do it, and don't just share it in the WhatsApp group. Share it on your Facebook, and then
Yeah.
step by step do that. Become confident first, so you can become comfortable. Say become comfortable first, so you can become confident. Do that, and then step by step. You mentioned that Joy.
hmm
Go through. Of course, we need to. Everything builds from each day, each week. Week 1 was all about identifying your gift, your zone of genius, and that's going to tell you what's a pain point you can solve in Faru. Then week 2, we take all of that and then we build. Basically, we craft your offer around your zone of genius, the way I showed you, and then week 3, once you've built your offer, we are solving one specific problem for one specific person. Then you implement the steps I've shared with you guys on week 3. Day 1, it's all about building that initial visibility and audience, tiny audience, not a billion people, even 5 or 10, the right 5, 10 people by leveraging Facebook groups. Then once you've done that, you go to them and you ask them, you use the ask method. What's the number one pain point stopping you from achieving X? You let them tell you what they need.
Yeah.
Remember, what me and you think doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You do that, and then once you've done that, then you basically follow that, build your program around what they're telling you. And then day 3, that first tiny audience, even 5 people, make them an offer, make them a case of the offer. Let's say, hey, I'm gonna launch this in 30 days for $2,000. But for you guys, as my first, you're my first class. Be honest, it's my first class, and because of that, I will work with you guys on a one-on-one. I will cap that to 5 people, and I will give you a case of the pricing of I will give you first a $1,000 scholarship. Never use the word discount or off because it devalues your value. Instead, use scholarship. I will give you $1,000 scholarship. Therefore, your tuition is going to be only $1,000. Even if you get one person to say yes, that's gonna do magic because you're gonna literally be creating money out of thin air. But most importantly, even bigger, is gonna unlock your mind. Wow, this actually works. For me, that's a big thing. Once you see people say yes to you, when I got my first client paying me even $500, that's when things changed. So wow, there are actually people that want that, you know. So yes, make them that that offer because your goal is to make as many offers as possible to the right people. And day 4, I showed you how to run your own 5-day challenge, which is going to be a game changer because a 5-day challenge, the fastest and best way to get high ticket clients. And then each time, make it a habit. Each time you get on a call with a prospect, a client, anyone, as long as you've been helping them, just don't be shy. Ask them, hey, Hector, Joy, Virginia, Carrie, would you mind with a quick 60-second testimonial on how this call has been helpful? And I'm going to share with you guys the actual script of the question to ask them. 3 questions. Question number 1. What was your pain point before this call? How was this call being helpful? And number 3, now that you had this breakthrough, how is this going to help you moving forward? And the last question, if someone is on the fence or facing the same issue as you were before this call, would you recommend them having a chat with me? Simple. Those 4 questions.
Lorenzo, that's what makes you so funny, at least when I first met you in that interview, in the way you handled yourself. Because at first, and sometimes I still think you're crazy, but you're an amazing craziness because you really can't do this unless you really believe you can do this yourself. And I'm telling you, it's going to sound crazy to anybody who just watches this tape for the first time, goes, wow, these people really have lost it, you know? And because that's exactly what I kept on thinking my whole life. I was always in a thing. I say, yeah, I have these dreams. I have these visions that I have a gift and I have a story. You know, people would come up to me and go, you know, oh, you know, you have a story and blah, blah, blah. And I've lived it, right? But man, until I really got to meet you and really got to see you, where you were implemented it into like a formula and day by day, step by steps. But we are still the ones that have to still believe it within ourselves first to then say, this is what I have to offer. This is the product that I have to offer. I am totally enmeshed, and that I truly believe that I can take men with spinal cord injuries and give them a 90-day program where they can become published authors for the first time, to be able to put their stories out as a published author. I believe that wholeheartedly. You know why? Because I did it myself.
I was about to ask you that. I was about to ask you why. Can you say that? And you said it.
Right. Because I did it myself. And then not only that, but I have done it several times over now for about 5 or 6 books. But I'm even telling you this, even while I'm doing this, I was still asking. I mean, you can even ask Virginia. She's been here I still got these books on my desk. I still didn't have a formula to market this gift. I still didn't know or believe within myself that it was going to come out of me. I thought I was just to write the books and have somebody else sell the books. Give me a marketing plan or give me a website where I can just go sell my books, go sell my programs, and I can just like sit over here and count the money or something. It doesn't work that way.
And
To me,
Cheetos,
it
yeah.
doesn't work that way
Yeah.
because there's still more to it. There's still more to my, I don't know what you want to call it, evolvement or whatever, or more maturity
Journey, yeah.
because there's just so much more to it. So, I mean, I know I'm still in the beginning phase of this, but I see it. I really do see myself having my own podcast, traveling the world, and really speaking on this topic. And I really just want to thank you for that. And Jenny, I know you're there because it's people like Jenny that are actually in my life and
Yeah.
supporting me. And she's the one that says, "Hey, you need to do this program. You need to do this program." And when
Yes.
I told her, "Well, I don't think I'm going to do it," she goes, "What are you, crazy?" I mean, it was just crazy to even think at one time
Thank you,
that I was
Virginia.
even.
Listen, you said it perfectly. Thank you. It's about two things: belief and conviction. And what's the first step in all of this? Who's the most important person that you need to help first?
Ourselves.
Yourself.
You need to heal yourself
Yeah.
first. Yes, you need to heal yourself first. So when you heal yourself first, in whatever way it was,
That's right.
because you've walked it, you've lived it, you've breathed it, then you get a conviction. Because as I've been saying since the beginning, even since the challenge, you simply share your story, how you overcame whatever crap you went through. That's it. You share your story, how you overcame whatever crap you went through, speaking from the heart. That's your main job, your main task.
Right.
That's it.
And then it's how they receive it. And then
Yeah.
it's them receiving your story and what they do with it and how it touches them. That's where I think the magic happens.
Yes.
That's where I'm hoping the magic happens because
it
then
will.
they hear something in my story. Just like I heard something in your story, Lorenzo, when you shared your story for about 3 minutes on an interview that somebody else was interviewing you. And I said, well, I can relate to this guy. He's funny. He does this. He doesn't make it so serious. He really makes it possible to believe that you can achieve this. I said, I'm going to go and check out this guy's 5-day challenge because I think he's full of shit and I'm going to sue. But I really wanted him to accept my offer. I begged my guy. I wrote these great letters to him. I said, dude, I got this out of this and I got this out of this. And can I really be on your show? And when he came back and he goes, yeah, I would love to have you on, I would love to, give you this. And I was like, wait, oh shit, now I'm being called on it. Now he's accepted my thing. Same thing. I was talking to Jim the other day and I saw this great comedian, Matt Rife, who I've been following
Yes.
and stuff like that.
He's amazing.
And I sent Matt Rife a text message really quick. And, oh man, I love how you talk to people with disabilities and so forth. And I have a disability. So hard to get to your concert. And dude, within 3 days, he sent me a response back. Goes, first of all, he thanked me, and then he wanted to know how long I've been following his thing. And just the fact that he responded to my text message was magical for me.
Wait,
Because I didn't think that
yeah.
somebody that high up. I didn't
Yep.
believe that somebody that high up would respond to little old me because see, I still have the mentality that I'm down here and they're all the way up there, and it's oh my God, it's such a hard reach, it's so much
Yeah.
work. It's not that. That's the lie that I've been telling myself. That's the illusion that I've been believing that I'm down here, everybody else is up there. Poor me, I'm a victim, and all that other stuff. So
Yes, absolutely
and
amazing.
it's hanging around people like this, it's groups like this that you really truly start to believe
Yes.
that maybe I really do have something to offer here. And maybe
Absolutely.
people really do want to pay a couple $1,000s to hear what I have to say. So
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. First of all, kudos. I'm amazed that you have Matt's number. That's amazing. I love this guy. He's funny as hell. He doesn't take himself seriously. And also, speaking of story, when you go on podcasts, which I will highly recommend, we'll even give you a blueprint to do so. Share the moment of your life that you were the most vulnerable. I used to hide that because I was ashamed of it, when I was broke, because I come from a background where everybody in my family are very successful. And me, as being the eldest son, they had a lot of, hopes on me. But I didn't because I had a different plan in mind. 2008, I was supposed to go to law school. I was about to send my application. Then I read a book, The 4-Hour Work Week, that changed my life. For 6 months, I was lying to my parents. Were asking me, "So what happened to your application? Oh, you get lost. There was what do you call it? There's a strike at the post office in Canada." I said, "Listen, we're not stupid. A strike doesn't last 6 months. It will be all over the news. Come on, what have you done?" And then finally, when I started making money, I said, "Hey, listen, I've been making money here. I haven't sent my application, but wait, but don't freak out. I'm actually making money. Here's, and I'm not doing anything illegal because I was literally doing affiliate marketing back in 2008 when working online was just something very novel. I was staying home all day long, just most of the time playing video games and just going out and whatever, and just coming, not doing anything. What are you doing? Are you selling drugs? Anything illegal? I said, no. But good luck trying to explain that to old school parents who are more into academia and all that, that you're actually making money online. But once you get that first notification, I was becoming hooked to that. You just made a sale. At the time, I was promoting a $3,000 package, making $1,000 per sale. It was like drugs. The first time I get that notification, you just made a sale, it's $1,000. I was like, holy smoke, this works. This is crazy. And after that, I was never employable again. One time, a true story. After coming back from 4 years traveling the world, my online business, first one, not for many reasons, because the company raised the price from $3,000 to $20,000, killed the golden goose, so to speak. I had to go back to Canada, got a job. I will never forget that. It was a Tuesday afternoon, 3 o'clock. I was literally sitting beside a girl. She was training me. I get a notification on my email on my phone. You just made a sale, $1,000. While I was getting paid $1,000 for a whole week. I made a sale. I just told her, "You see this? I just made $1,000." She couldn't believe it. She was very much into the corporate life. Of course, for the rest of the day, I couldn't focus on work. The next morning, I came to work. I was literally outside the building. I said, "Screw that, F that. I'm not coming." I left a message to my boss. Say, "Listen, I quit. I can't do this." Real story, guys. Real story. So again, once you get a taste of that money, it's like drugs. Seriously, I've never tried drugs, but this is the closest you will ever get to it. So the point is, follow step by step what I've been sharing with you guys, and it's gonna work for you as long as you put it to work. And I love, love, love your enthusiasm, Hector. Same for you, Joy, Carrie, and you, Virginia. What the hell are you doing? Don't be just waiting and tumbling. You come like this. I need you to
You gotta be counting my money.
to make
Gotta be
money,
counting my money.
and we need you to pay me because you're learning here as well. And as far as I know, you haven't paid yet, so you gotta pay Daddy. I'm just joking. No, but seriously, make it happen. Make it happen.
We are. We definitely are gonna make this happen. That's why I want to be able to come back here and say, "Hey guys, I made it. I did it."
Yeah.
You
I
know?
want you to
So
come.
I'm looking forward to that.
You're welcome, all of you guys, as you're a member for life. You're welcome to pop in any future classes because, again, not only meet new people, but also because it's going to be different. As my knowledge expands, I share it. I still have students from the previous classes that come often, regularly. So, what was to say? Yeah, just make it happen, just work. Any other questions about week 3 before we move on to the graduation party?
I wore a hat.
Ooh, I do.
See, look at that. Oh man, I gotta go get my hat.
Yeah,
Jenny, go get my hat.
go get it.
Jenny, go get my hat.
What do you mean? All right. What are you doing? Come on. Nah. No, but
So,
seriously, guys.
Lorenzo,
Yes.
how do we get in touch with your schedule when we
My
want to attend future classes?
well, I will post it on the
Do
WhatsApp
we?
group. I will post in the WhatsApp group,
Okay.
and I will post it on Facebook. Or you can just send me a message. Hey, when is your next class? The next class is
Okay.
probably going to be toward the mid to end of March.
Okay.
So yeah. So any other questions? Where did Hector go?
Maybe to get his hat.
Ah, okay. Okay. So if you guys have no more questions for week 3, let's take a 90-second break. Same link. Come back. It's going to be the graduation party. Don't go anywhere. Same link, okay?
Okay.
See you guys.
Okay. Let's see. How I leave. Wonder. This